Hello there, Nick here with another Dota 2 video. So this is a ranked game I played recently, and I'm actually going to discuss not myself or my gameplay, but the position 3 and a key thing that almost all position 3 players do in the 4 and 5k bracket that costs them a game. And just a bit of background, I'm 5k, I usually play position 5, position 3, and there's one thing that absolutely infuriates me in position 3 players that costs the game almost all the time. And I'll be looking at this Bristleback, who was my teammate, and overall he played really well. He crushed the laning stage, he had correct awareness to fights, he killed his ancients, but the key thing that he did wrong was his itemization. And you will see why in just a second. So let us start the replay and get right into it. Now, let's just move a bit, go free camera, and then even before we start the game, let's discuss what are the heroes, what do you expect, because that's something you should do every single game. What's your expectation of the team fights? What's your expectation of the mid game? What do you think is going to happen? So on our team we have Patch 4, an AA5, and then Chuck, Invoker, and Bristle. They have on the other hand Nature Prophet and Vino, as well as a lane crushing mid, and a Void that can set up kills for the rest of his long range teammates. So what do you expect is going to happen? Well, they have two extremely good pushing heroes that are also lane dominators. They have another lane dominator in mid, and they have a hero which, although it's likely to lose top, is also really good at setting up heals with his chrono, even if he has no farm. And again, a Lion who also has a burst and control, and even if he doesn't have farm, he's still useful. So they have a huge mid-game timing where they can just crush us. Now, we have trends, we have wards. How do we stop them? Well, AA does not have a pushing ability. AA just cannot deal with wards, cannot deal with treants, cannot deal with creep waves. This hero is practically useless to stop the push until he gets his shard, in which case he's just okay at the very best. Let's look at Putch. Putch is useless throughout the game to stop push. That's it, he's just useless. When they're pushing high ground, he may hook someone, but they're likely to have 4 staffs, maybe on Vino, definitely on Odi, and Odi has a safe as well. So, yes, he can hook someone, but there's time walk chrono, there's all kinds of ways to save the people that are hooked. So honestly, the person that needs to help with anti-push is the Bristleback. He's the one that needs to tank at front, he's the one that needs to help stave this push and sustain his teammates. Second thing to note, what kind of damage do they do? Now let's look. Lion, magical, magical damage. Odie, pure, magical, magical. Nature Prophet. Nature Prophets usually go for Orchid into Hex, so yes, he will do some physical damage, but at least initially it will be mainly the Orchid, his ultimate, and a bit of physical. Vino, a lot of magical damage, apart from the Plague Wards, but who cares about the Plague Wards, let's be honest. And Void, I would argue Void will be primarily magical damage because of the time lock. At least in the mid game, which is what we're mainly concerned about. So, as an offlane player, what do you think this guy should build? Well, as we said, they have a lot of push, and they have a ton of magical damage. So, magic resistance, first of all, and second things to help him survive, purge himself from Orchids, slow effects, hexes, and after imprisonment. So, let's see actually what he does. So let's move to minute 10, and I'm purely going to focus on itemization and how that itemization in this case is going to cost us the game. Honest to God, this guy played really well, the Bristleback, but his items were complete trash and cost us the game. So let's go to minute 10, and he has a Ring of Health, a Wand, Phase Boots, Soul Ring, and he's building a Vanguard. Now, again, why does he need that Vanguard? What is the Vanguard against? As we already discussed, magical, pure and magical, magical, at least initially a mixture of the two, mid-game primarily magical due to time lock. So this Vanguard does nothing. Like, even without this Vanguard, the Void will do no damage to him. Like, look at it, it's minute 10, Void has a Midas. That's it, like nothing, a Midas. And let's just showcase this. Let's see minute 13. What does the Bristleback start building minute 13? Minute 13. Okay, he has his Vanguard, and he's doing a Shroud into an Aghanims. Now, don't get me wrong, Vanguard, Phase Boots, Shroud, Aghanims is in theory the best build on Bristleback. And this guy probably watched Speed's video, Game Leaf's video, and thought, oh, this is an amazing build. This is what I need to build every game, and it's the perfect build. In theory, yes. 8 out of 10 games, this is a really good build. Not this one, though. You need to use your head, you need to think, and you need to adapt to the situation. Now, I already said why the Vanguard is awful. Let me also say why the Shroud is absolutely horrible. Well, this guy has a lot of magical damage, mass magical damage at that. Venomancer has Poison Nova and Venomous Gale. Again, two very high damage magical abilities that are AoE. Our team, 900 HP Ancient Apparition, 1100 HP Invoker, and a Juggernaut who has 1000 HP. So imagine if instead of a Shroud, to protect the tankiest hero in our lineup, who's honestly going to be perfectly fine even if just with a pipe. Oh, even with just with a pipe, he builds a Shroud. Like, if he has a pipe, he mitigates most of their damage. He gives us a magic resistance aura, and he just straight up crushes their mid-game timing and their mid-gaming push. Aghanims, again, Aghanims is an amazing item if you're chasing down heroes. If you want to have a prolonged long fight where you just kite with your nasal goo. However, that's not gonna happen. They have chrono, they have a lot of burst, they have so much control. So OD went for Aghanims. This guy, Lion, has a lot of control. Vino, slow. Sprout from Nature Prophet. He can also control you with Trance, Void Sphere. Aghanims is useless in this stage of the game. And let's see a team fight. Let's just see how a team fight goes with his current item build. And just to put into perspective, at this timing, Bristleback, instead of this Vanguard, this Voodoo Mask, and this hood, he could have a pipe. Oh yes, and Phase Boots, instead of Phase Boots, he should make Greaves. Because with Greaves, he can dispel Venomous Gale. With Greaves, he can dispel the eventual Orchid of Nature Prophet. And yes, in general, he can just heal his allies, get mana whenever Lion and OD take his mana, and just be useful. And the other item he should consider, so he needs to have 3 core items. Remove the Vanguard, remove the Phase Boots. He needs to have Greaves, he needs to have Pipe, and he needs to have Lotus Orb. Because, and you'll see in a second why he needs Lotus Orb. There's Astral Imprisonment, there's Earth Spike, Hex, Mana Drain, Finger, and there's going to be Silence. So again, he needs a lot of purges, so if he has Greaves plus Lotus, that's 2 purges. He also needs to reflect a lot of really nasty abilities. And what he doesn't need is physical damage reduction. And he doesn't need is Aghanim Scepter. That's just lost gold. And I just look at the net worth. He's 7.3k net worth, second in the game. But his items, they offer nothing to the team. Absolutely nothing. And there's gonna be a fight here. And this fight is a very prolonged fight. Bristol plays it really well. Our team in general kites really well. But the problem is that we just don't have the toolkit to win. So, look, he's just standing his ground and he just gets Astrot. Okay, what happens now? Astrot again. imagine if he had a Lotus here. Just imagine him having a Lotus and all the Offlane himself, then I can ult, Pudge can hook him, Jug can engage with Axe, with Omnislash. Instead, he just gets kited, as I said he will, and he just gets controlled. There's nothing he can do. Look, he's barely moving. He's out of the fight for 10 seconds now, he's barely moving, just from Venom's fall. And what happens now? Odie keeps astering him. He doesn't need to stop, Odie can just keep doing this. I know it's sad to watch. This is useless, this does nothing. This does nothing as well. Okay, Jug does a cute play, it's fine. All's good. But, okay, ignore the Pudge, he's not that great. What happens now? Why is Odie still here on half HP? Because he doesn't care, we can't get to him. There's nothing we can do to get him past the control. He just gets slowly whittled down. And now that Odie has ult, he just dies. Slowly, painfully. Absolutely disgracefully. And let's move to another fight. So, next fight is, I think... Let's see, what man was it? Oh, okay. I jumped the gun a little bit on this one. So in 10 seconds there will be a fight, and you again see this time he has his hood. He has his voodoo mask instead of his quarrying blade, but oh well, let's not nitpick. Okay, he comes here, he's staying middle with the invoker. And let's see what happens. Okay. Now, look at what happened here. Invoker's gonna die, by the way, in a second, just so you know. Imagine if this Bristleback, who was not chronoed, casted a pipe on the Invoker and negated a huge amount of the time lock damage. And, damage from Dota as well. Or, imagine he had Greaves and could heal the Invoker. I know I'm saying things that are clearly absolutely ridiculous. Why would he have that when he can get a Vanguard and Hood and then build into Shroud? So yes, this Invoker is that so... or Lotus here to stop that. I mean, okay, Invoker will still have died, but still. At least Lion might have died eventually. And yeah, they just destroy us. Because we don't have a single teamfight item. A single teamfight item. Nothing we can do. Now let's move to another situation where just showcases how bad his build is. Now he's going to farm and Odie comes here with the smoke. He sees him, so he has time to react, if he had something to actually react with. Invoker's really close, he's also class Wax. Oh no, he's Exhort. Either way, he can get here really quickly. Jigger can also get there fairly quickly. So the only thing that Bristle needs to do is, if he had a Lotus, bait Odie, and have Odie cast Astral Imprisonment on him. Then when they're both imprisoned, Invoker and Jug will come. I'll cast the ultimate as the AA, and assuming I had it obviously. And then Odie is dead, and that basically turns the game, completely changes the game. Instead, Odie just plays with him. Our cores don't want to commit because there's no way to catch the Odie. If they show, he'll just dagger away. So Odie's absolutely safe here. At least for now. And let's just continue watching, because there's again another situation just a few seconds later, which again shows you how bad his build is. So Odie jumps. He doesn't know that Jug is here. Oh, he does. He's just very confident. And Invoker and Jug play really well. They managed to kill him. And look at what happens now. So imagine at this situation, again, he had a pipe, had a Lotus or had Greaves. Doesn't matter which one. If he had Lotus and casted here, the Jug would have been absolutely fine. Because he would negate any future crowd control. He would, if he cast it early, he would silence the Nature Prophet himself. If he had Pipe, yeah, Jug cannot die because Pipe. If he had Greaves, again, he would just heal the Jug. He will heal the Invoker, who'll have mana as well, and he can re-engage instead of go back. But instead, he has same item as before. Jug dies, Invoker has to back off, and yes, we win the fight quite handily, but we lose our carry. This fight could have been completely in our favor, and he has a Shroud. Wow, he has a Shroud. So useful, so useful. Like, tell me how the Shroud, the Vanguard, and let's assume he had Aghanim's will help him in this fight. In any case, like, what difference would they make? None. Completely useless. So yeah, that's the main thing. Those are the things I just wanted to showcase, and just show you what a huge difference itemization can have. And this is a good player, don't get me wrong. He played the laning stage, even though I didn't show it. He played the laning stage really well. He crushed the Void. He farmed agents as he should. He joined fights and tried to kite the CC over here. So his approach to the game is correct, his itemization isn't. He has a very 4 to 5k mentality of I will build carry items. So look, he has BKB and Shroud queued up. If you're not gonna get the Pipe, just get the BKB. Honestly, just get the BKB. But yes, Aghanim's Shroud, BKB, Vanguard. He's playing as if he's a position 1 or 2. He's not playing his role, he's playing as if he's gonna carry the game. We don't need another carry. Jig can easily carry the game, we have an Invoker, we have really strong heroes to carry the game. What we need is teamfight items, because we have a Pudge who, okay, he's building useful items, I'll give him that. But he's not gonna build a Pipe. He could, but he's not going to. He's not going to build a Lotus, he's not going to build Greaves. Have an AA, again. This hero does not build these items. I can build a Glimmer Cape, I can use 4 stuff, but there's no way I can get the Pipe. So as a 3, you need to look at the opponents, look at your team, and think of what's gonna happen. And we lost the game eventually, and do you know why? Because as I said earlier, they just gathered up, they slow sieged with Treants, with Snakes, with all these W, and they just took tower after tower, and there was nothing we could do. Because we couldn't engage, we didn't have any cleanses, dispels, like Lotus and Greaves, and ultimately they just whittled us down. Even though in a late game scenario, our team's much stronger than theirs, in my opinion at least. Because we have a Juggernaut and a Bristle, we have good control, AA is a great team fights, but we never got there. And now I'm gonna show you a game that I played. I'm not going to go through the game, I'm just going to show you the end screen to show you what good itemization is, even if it doesn't actually correspond to your hero. So I will be right back. And we're back. So this is a game I played offlane. As I said, offlane and support position 5 are my main roles. And in this case, they had a person that griefed and sold their items in the end, but let's ignore that for a second. Let's imagine they had an Orchid and they had, I don't know, another item, use maybe, or Axe, something useful. So let's analyze what I've built, why I've built it. So I have a Pipe. Why do I have a Pipe? Well, they have a Quap, they have a Venge, they have a Willow. All 3 heroes do a lot of magical damage. So yeah, Pipe is useful. Pipe protects my team and helps them survive. Easy as that. And it's usually a core item on Necro anyway, so again, I do not build a Shroud. Yes, I know, heresy. I built a Pipe because I'm a 3, it's a teamfight item. If I was a position 2, position 1 Necro, yeah, maybe Shroud, maybe. But still, Pipe's just better. And then, what's my second item here? It's not Greaves. It's not EU, even though EU is good as well, I considered it. It is actually Halberd. Why do you build a Halberd on a Necro as a second item, you might ask? Well, they have a Throw Warlord. If you Halberd Throw, he's useless. You have also a Legion, who likes to do and kill people with a lot of damage, even though that didn't happen this game. Again, Halberd completely counters them. Then I also have a shard, and I have an Elven Tunic. Why do I have an Elven Tunic on a Necrophus? Well, a lot of physical damage, a lot of physical damage. This guy stopped playing, so I could ignore him and out of the equation. And then a little bit of magical damage. Now the Clop was gone, but I had a pipe and the magic resistance talent for that, so yeah, they weren't too scary. And then Aghanim Shard. Well, what happens if Troll casts his ultimate and I just cast my Aghanim Shard ability? Well, I just decrepify him, and he's useless for several seconds during his ultimate. What happens if Legion Commander ults someone and I use my decrepify? Again, he's useless, and our teammate lives, and I can burst him with my sight. And then finally, why did I have the Lotus Orb? Well, Lotus Orb removes and cleanses from a lot of different spells. Let's say if Coop had an Orchid, again, imagine he had items instead of griefing. Yeah, it cleanses me from the Stance of Willow. Doesn't do a lot against Legion, doesn't do too much against Troll, but helps prevent swaps into death by teammates from Venge. So it's something really good to cast on Draw, for example, or even on myself. And let's ignore my items for a second. Let's look at my teammates. So the Draw, and just before actually, other item I could have gotten in EOS, again because I just EOS these two heroes and they did nothing in the team fight. But now, Draw Ranger. He has an E-Blade. Why does he have an E-Blade instead of, I don't know, Daedalus, or just imagine a generic draw item? Okay. Well, what happens if Troll goes in here? She just E-Blades, goes away. Legion Commander, what if Legion deals someone else? She just saves them with an E-Blade and then kills the Legion. Simple as that. Manta helps you dodge duel, helps you dodge the spells of this Willow. It helps you dispel or hit, and also if Troll ultimates, you just Manta and then tank with the illusions. So again, extremely good items from the Draw, a good understanding of the game, and that shows in his talents as well. 50% Gust Blind, minus 4 per seconds Gust cooldown. Why? Because you want to be pushing these two heroes away from you, and you want to prevent Troll from hitting. So having a 50% mischance on a minus 4 second cooldown is game breaking against these two heroes. Unless Troll has an MKB and he cannot afford to get it early, he needs to have defensive items against all of our control, then that's it. You just won the game just by your itemization and your talents. And again, Tusk also has a Halberd because, as I said, Halberd's really good here. It's extremely good. Other option would be for Tusk to have a Vessel, and I'll probably argue that Vessel first is better given these two heroes, given that I made the Halberd, but you know what, it's good, it's the second best thing. So yes, that's how you itemize, that's how you win games. Even the Puck has use, which I said is the next item I was going to build, because he can save allies, he can protect himself, he can be elusive. So all of our items are geared towards countering their team. We're thinking about what are their strengths, how do we counter their strengths. So yes, that's it from me. I hope this was educational, and I'll be doing more videos in the future. Thank you, bye bye.